Welcome back. I'm John Frankel. And now let's get into some of the most compelling evidence that's come forth since the airing of Mermaids, The Body Found. What you're looking at is home video taken 2,000 feet below the surface of the ocean. It was shot by the crew of a small submarine. Over the years, they've taken lots of these videos, but it's the footage they captured on March 6th of this year that now stands to become the most remarkable deep-sea footage ever filmed. We're going to be showing their amazing footage to the world for the first time. Joining former NOAA biologist Dr. Paul Robertson and me in the studio is one of the members of the team who shot the video we'll be seeing, Dr. Thorsten Smith. Dr. Smith, welcome.
Thank you.
You map the ocean floor for a living, is that right?
Yes, I work as a marine geologist. My team and I do seismic mapping and sampling of the ocean floor.
And this is all to locate promising sites for oil exploration, correct?
Yes, oil and gas.
Now, you and your team are Danish, but you were working for the Icelandic government, is that correct?
Yes, we're one of many international teams contracted by the Icelandic Geological Survey.
And from what I understand, you dived down to about 1,000 meters, nearly 3,000 feet, and have seen and recorded some extraordinary things down there. We're seeing some of those images now on screen and getting a chance to see what it's like when you're down there.
So cool. So cool.
We're down for 8-hour intervals. It's a small space.
It's
crazy. And we bring down the camera to show our families
what
interesting.
You've not only seen some remarkable things down there, but you've heard some amazing things.
Yes. In fact, it's one of our jobs. Before we can use the sonar, we have to check if there's any marine mammals in the area.
And this is because the seismic mapping, the sonar you use for the mapping, could be harmful to marine mammals.
Yes, that's right.
Paul, this is similar to what you've described.
Yes, this affects marine mammals too. This can kill them, actually.
How do you determine if there are marine mammals in the area when you start this process?
Well, we listen. There is a regulated 60-minute listening interval called the marine mammal observation to make sure there's no animals in the area before we begin.
And it was after one of these listening intervals that you experienced something terrifying back in 2000.
Mermaids.
Yes.
Where did this take place?
Off the Jan Mayen Ridge in the Norwegian Sea.
Here, let's take a look at this.
Why does it sound like that?
Hay huevos, de seguro.
Thorsten, you were told at the time that these were the sounds of pilot whales, right?
Yes.
Ves, te dije eran huevos.
Do you agree with that?
Those are pilot whales, no.
We were told that we impacted pilot whales, and that's why the sounds of the whales were different, because they had been affected by the sonar.
The IGS told you that.
Yes.
That's the Icelandic Geological Survey?
Yes, we were skeptical, of course, but we didn't argue.
We know that you have other footage that you want to show us, and we'll get to that. But first, tell us what happens. A couple years go by, then you have renewed doubts about that sound that you heard back in 2010.
Yes, one of my team members saw a BBC report on a documentary about this strange sound that had been recorded in the deep ocean, a documentary about the creature that made this sound. So we got a copy of the film and saw it.
You're referring to Paul's film, correct? Mermaids, The Body Found.
Yes, and now we know what the sounds are that we heard.
So you and your team took what were pretty bold measures. You go to the Icelandic government, you ask for a full-fledged environmental impact study at the site where this took place.
Yes.
And Paul, can you tell the audience exactly what that means?
Well, yeah. Basically, all oil exploration in the area would be suspended while officials reviewed the scope of its impact on the environment.
And Thorsten, what happened with your request?
We were denied by senior officials, and we were reminded of our confidentiality agreements, and we were told that we could not share our recording with anyone else.
From where you stood, did you see this as a thinly veiled threat?
Yes, that was our feeling, yes.
Paul, does this sound all too familiar to you, Deja Vu?
We had our material confiscated. They were silenced. This is exactly the same thing. It's very familiar.
And why do you think, Torsten, you got the response that you did?
I can only speculate, of course, but there are billions of dollars at stake when environmental regulations jeopardize the ability to develop these oil reserves.
You did not go to the press at the time, and I'm curious why.
Well, we didn't think we had enough proof to make any changes. What we had was what Dr. Robinson and his team had, some recording of strange animal sounds.
So you began your own efforts to gain further evidence?
Yes, we began off the coast of Greenland, north of the area where we shot the first 2010 recording.
And as you're doing this now, your objective is to deliberately draw them in.
Yes.
How do you do this?
Well, we use the blue recordings. So we played the blue recordings out into the ocean, much as what Dr. Robinson did.
And you did this on every dive for 7 months, is that right?
Yes, and we took down 2 cameras on every dive, just in case we might see them.
And what happened on March 6th, 2013, of this year? What happened?
They reappeared.
Let us take a look. I want to give folks a quick glimpse of that amazing footage, and this is from the first camera. When we come back, footage from the second camera. That's coming up right after the break.
Tonight,
We have to close the lake now.
think it's safe to go in the water. Think again. My God.
Damn.
Hey, what's left?
Lake Attack of the Killer Lampreys premieres tonight at 9.
Son of a...
Animal Planet is surprisingly human.
Ahorita sale la génico. Te dije.
We're with former NOAA biologist Dr. Paul Robertson and joined by Dr. Torsten Smith. He was the lead geologist on a submarine crew that recorded on March 6th of this year the astonishing footage we just watched, and I'd like to start out with some reactions.
¿Viste la hand?
Robertson.
I'd really like to see what's on that second camera.
I'm glad. I think we all do. Our viewers at home too would like to see that. We're going to show you that right now. Let's take a look.
2013.
That's scary.
It's not scary.
Dr. Robertson,
Sorry, can we play that back, please?
can we get the footage of that back up there? Can we, in fact, why don't we take both cameras, first and second sync, and let's roll them together. Can we do that? Take a look again.
Mira.
You got it. Dr. Robertson, is this the creature that you and your team found in South Africa?
From what I can see here, yes. The body recovered was incomplete, but based on the remains
¿Viste la?
from us,
¿Viste?
it's the same species.
¿La viste toda?
Dr. Smith, what did you think when you saw
Yo la
this
miré
film
toda.
at the time?
Well, I looked at it and I just knew I was looking into the face of it.
Mira, mira.
Another intelligence, another species like
Mira,
us.
¿viste?
It looks like a zombie.
It's not a
First showed
zombie.
this footage
It
to
looks
when you
like-
realized what you had
Right?
seen.
could not share
Oh my God,
the
I'm
duty
so
officers
scared
of
of
the
that.
expeditions. So
It's
we,
a
You mean the
mad
Icelandic
world.
authorities who
Submarine.
basically said that if you pursue this, they're going to threaten you with legal action.
exactly. So we discussed it as a crew,
They're in
and
a boat.
because we are Danes and Greenland is a part of Denmark, we
I
thought we could
never
go to
wanna
the
go
Danish
to the
authorities. So we did.
I'm going to put up an article here